The number one reason that home buyers will back out of a property, and I'm talking like weeks into contract, they've already paid cash out of pocket for some expenses, and yet they still choose to walk away. It's got to be hands down because of inspections. And rightfully so, there are a lot of houses that have issues that come up, and it's either just too expensive or the buyer and seller cannot come to some sort of agreement. From what I've seen, a lot of it is buyers and sellers really just not understanding what are priority items and what are things that really don't need to worry about too much. Anytime you buy a house from somebody else, there's always going to be things with that house. You're buying a used item just like you're buying a used car. You can't expect everything to be perfect, and you should walk into that situation knowing that there are going to be things that pop up and there's going to be things that I should expect I'm going to have to take care of when I move into this house. And having a really good home inspector will give you a clear perspective on what these items are versus what items are really just things that have to be noted but aren't as severe as they sound. Because when a home inspector puts together their report, you have to consider their liability. If they include something and they say, oh, this isn't really a big deal, and then it turns into a big deal, well, they're on the hook. And everything they put in their reports has to follow certain codes and regulations, which is why it's extremely important. You take your time, you find a good inspector who's willing to walk the property with you before or even after they issue that inspection report. Because when you look at this inspection report that's 50, 70, 80 pages long, it's going to seem terrifying. But when you walk the property with the inspector and he gives you a summary of the things that he's discovered that are worth noting, you'll find out that really a small portion of these items are even worth talking about. And when you're there in person, they can share with you, hey, here's the issue that I called out. Here's generally what it takes to resolve that issue. And, on a scale of 1 to 10, here's kind of how severe this issue generally becomes. And that gives you a chance to really understand everything that's on that report that is important and whether or not it's worth asking for. And hey, you can always ask, but if the seller counters back saying yes or no, or we'll only pay for some of it, well, you can start to remove those items that are lower on that priority list because they're really not that big of a deal.